if the messaging had been good or consistent or not condescending or whatever you want to say, then I and others would have, I think, been a lot more willing to let this go. But what this has done is like picking off a scab or stoking a fire, so that now
moving forward.
Yeah, I think he's almost I think he's in danger actually of what I call a PR death spiral, where maybe there's nothing that's going to fix this, but he could certainly change his tone. Because I mean, that's a basic thing. Stop acting like you are befuddled at why people care about this. Have you met Donald Trump?
Have you seen how Donald Trump behaves?
There's two.
Honestly, think about it.
Well,
right?
I've never seen him calling his followers weaklings.
No, but he calls everybody else. He's incredibly critical of.
That's what my significant other is always telling me.
As soon as they say something that he likes, he's like, "Oh, they're a great guy." Everyone knows that's how Donald Trump acts.
Right.
Everybody knows, but his supporters have never had that. Why focus on them?
It's not his supporters, because there are people out there that are like, "No, I support Donald Trump, and this is all BS."
But
so it's the people that are that. Again, as we've kind of discussed,
people who have been supporting him, but who are now pissed off or disillusioned
because they have a preconceived idea about the Epstein stuff and what it is.
Well, it's not preconceived though. When he's been feeding into it, when you botch something as badly as he's botched the PR on this, then you're.
I do think that it's kind of preconceived, because the botching doesn't. The botching
part's
only
preconceived?
Well, they already believe, like people that believe that it's about people that believe that it's about pedophiles, or people that believe that it's about Israel. They've always believed that, and they always will believe.
I mean,
no matter what comes out, they're going.
Is verifiable stuff out there about like why is a former prime minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, going into his mansion in 2016.
So
again, I know it's not circumstantial, but why would you ever go to someone's house after they've been convicted for what they did?
My point is, people that believe these things believed them before Trump got into office. Right. They believe, again, these are the same people that believed Cash and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and Donald Trump were going to get in and show them all the stuff, and show them all the stuff meant give me the confirmation of the things that I already believe. Right. And so now, any more information that comes out, I don't think that they're going to say, "Oh, this I believe."
Well, yeah, I don't think people should have believed anything that came out, especially like after the Binder situation. You know, and I'm one of those people who's going to be skeptical of anything they release, because what I was saying earlier, it's been through so many hands. Who knows how it's been modified or completely changed? I think we need something bigger. I think we need some sort of trials. I think we need people to be on the stand talking and interviewed, almost like a Nuremberg, but for everyone connected to him. I don't care if they're innocent or not.
No, I think something along that lines. I think at this point, it's gotten to the point where it's going to take something big. But let me just say one thing.
What do you arrest those people for, though?
I don't honestly. It's gonna have to depend.
What's the charge?
We'll see. Bill Gates. I mean, I could arrest him for trying to kill the son, but in terms of Jeffrey Epstein, it's gonna be tough, because you're like, why are you with these people? And you're gonna say, well, they can be with whoever they want.
They charged Trump. What was the?
Yeah, and that wasn't right too.
And it doesn't have.
So, but you're talking about using the justice system to attack people that you believe have done something without any actual evidence.
Well, which is exactly what they did.
Okay, so here,
if you think there's a crime, you could convict him.
But that was wrong, and that was bad.
I think it has to be that dramatic. Go ahead.
I think we need like intelligence people talking on trial. I think we need like
a full court press conference.
I want to see Ghislaine back on trial, like something really big. These people were handling him, around him.
Let her talk to Congress.
Right? Like I think that would be a good step in the right direction. And look, don't trust everything she says, because she's literally an asset who was groomed by her father, who was doing crazy things.
It's not just
you're poisoning. I mean,
but I do want to point out though. We finish your thought.
Yeah, I'll just say you have to, because you're never going to get the full truth, and we can't trust any institution to give us the full truth. But the more they can do to at least try to be better at being transparent and let us be the judge. Yeah, that's all I ask for, because you have to be skeptical of everything they're telling you, because they've been lying to us our whole lives. I'm not going to trust Cash and Dan because they just do podcasts. Even if I don't know them, but I'm not just going to blindly trust them. Not because maybe they are lying to me and they know it, but maybe they've just been lied to, like what I was saying with Trump. So yeah, you kind of do have to poison the waters, but you also have to demand more transparency. And there's a whole bunch of people like Ghislaine or Barr, and I would love to see on trial, not trial, but on the stand, just questioned, grilled about all their connections.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something that you said just a minute ago, you said if you have all of these people who already believed that there was something nefarious going on with Epstein, and they thought that Trump's people were going to get in and take care of it, aren't they going to now continue with that bias? Basically, nothing's going to be good enough for them. Yes, you have those people, but you also have people like me who did not really give a shit about the Epstein story. I mean, yeah, bad guy, whatever. I didn't care, but now my ears have been perked up just by the mishandling of it. And so I think people like me could be placated if the approach were changed. I do think there are some who
is the messaging really the biggest issue for you? Because they dropped the investigation into Prince Andrew. They fired was it the top prosecutor for Epstein?
Maureen Comey.
Was she the top prosecutor, though?
Yeah, she prosecuted Ghislaine, Nicholas Tartaglione, the guy I was telling you about who was jailed as well.
It's not just the messaging that's a disaster. Like those actions, those moves are really suspect. On top of all this, the WSJ report, now we're getting grand jury testimony. Something stinks.
Yeah.
Something reeks.
Something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yeah, and I think normal people, it's way too esoteric. I think normies, to kind of go back to the whole point of this show today, it's too esoteric. It's too many details. It's too many different directions. And maybe that's the goal.
I think
maybe it's to overwhelm it, where people are like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I have this sense right now is just look at the chat. The chat is excoriating me because
I bought those are bots that I bought.
They're excoriating me, and it's like I'm implicated. I did this.
But those are trolls too. I don't think some of those people believe it.
The point that I'm making is the only reason people would watch this is because they care about it. So the chat's full of people that have a bias and they care about this.
There are also a lot of people like me and people I've talked to who are not so politically invested, who did not care much about Epstein, but now their ire and their curiosity has been aroused. And so I do think that there's a whole other layer on top of this. And look, again, we can't act like the messaging on this has just been inadequate. I mean, I feel like it's like that scene in Apocalypse Now, to quote my favorite movie, when you've got Martin Sheen sitting there in front of Kurtz, and Kurtz says to him, "Do you find my methods unsound?" And Martin Sheen says, "I don't see any method at all, sir." That's kind of how I feel right now.
The horror. Yeah, I know. I mean, people certainly have their confirmation bias, and I understand why. And I also think, like I was saying earlier about this being an indictment on journalism as a whole, because to your point, it's hard to even write about this. Yeah. There's so many moving parts if you want to go down a Robert Maxwell path. What happened with the Promise scandal, the octopus murders, which happened in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Really?
Which is about a journalist was looking into the Promise scandal, and which is about the stolen spyware when Robert Maxwell was a part of that, Mossad, U.S., and all this stuff. And this journalist was starting to like connect the dots and was meeting with a source in Martinsburg. And the journalist was saying, he was calling it the octopus. It's many tentacled thing, right? There's all these, which I like. It goes to Kurtz, what she was saying about Nixon talking about this wild animal, right? I mean, that's what's going on, I think, behind the curtain of our reality. And the journalist was found with his arms like just slit up real bad. Oh, they ruled it as a suicide, but it was really bizarre.
When was this?
I don't remember when it was. I don't want to say, maybe late 90s, maybe later. I'm not sure. I think there's a documentary on it. But like that's one path, and that's just Robert Maxwell. You can go into Pergamon Press. We were talking earlier about science. You were talking about the Epstein thing from that show.
Yeah,
right?
The Expanse. It's called the Epstein Drive.
You can go. So then, thinking about journalists, you can go down the path of like Epstein and science. Why was he a math teacher? Why was he part of the Harvard math department? Talk to Eric Weinstein. Who was part of the Harvard math department. He's like, why does Epstein know about my research? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Why does he care about gravity stuff? It's bizarre.
What are you talking about, Eric Weinstein?
Eric Weinstein. I think he met Epstein once, but Epstein like ingratiated himself into the Harvard math department, and he thought he was like gatekeeping innovation.
It's almost like the plot of Catch Me If You Can with Epstein. Like he,
except he I think
was
is
a phony. He conned his way to the top and then lived kind of this degenerate lifestyle.
So like there's all these things, all these moving parts with this insane story. Not to mention the most depraved part about the children.
Right, of
but then
course.
the power play, who's he hanging out with, Lolita Express, all these things. You can Ghislaine. So it's hard to condense it into a story that makes sense. And I think a lot of people also have an issue willing to accept just how evil people are.
Sure.
Like when I wrote that story about catching those pedophiles with Alex Rosen in Ohio, that was the most evil stuff I'd seen, like right in front of me. Like these guys were straight up demons who were going to go find, they thought they were going to meet an 11-year-old girl, right? And, people were like, I appreciate you writing the story, but I just can't read it. And I totally understood, because it's like, it's torture. Like listening to them talk was literal torture. And we could have done that in Ohio for 3 days nonstop. There were so many people on that Alex's list to take care of.
Dude, every few months you hear like a huge bust where they get like 100 people with human trafficking.
Yeah, it just happens.
It's like these people are just hanging out.
Sortaria, I think it's Sortaria and Operation Dragon Eye. Those just happened earlier this year, maybe like last month. Hundreds of kids saved, hundreds of pedophiles arrested. Amazing. This is in Texas, I believe, and Florida. It's so prevalent amongst, I think, every level of our society. That's why I think it's prevalent up top and it's prevalent down below. Like those people we're in Ohio catching, just monsters at 7-Eleven, but they're politicians as well. We know they're in colleges. They find their way in churches. This is an evil thing. This urge that they need to satisfy, this bloodlust with, this need to destroy innocence. So it's really hard to be written about, and it's really hard to understand. And that's why the people who are so-called normies, I think they have a hard time really wrapping their heads around all of this and all the conspiratorial stuff that, I like to get into. That's kind of like just the minutia of it. But there's hard evidence of stuff you can talk to. It's just a matter of figuring out how to condense it into something that's palatable.
Well, I think the average person is latching on to the messaging failure about Epstein rather than what Epstein's actually about, like what you're talking
Trump
about.
doesn't help when he says it's a hoax, because I don't think Trump means the whole thing's a hoax. I think he means
Trump literally said that the Clintons did it. So
dude,
he's not good with his messaging right
now. Did he mean, this is where I talk, Trump's messaging needs to get better. I mean, that's a tough ask.
I hear what you're saying,
but
your point.
I think he means this list and this fervor over, whatever's going on with him and people connected is a hoax.
It's manufactured outrage.
Right. But like there is real things that happened, but he's just blurting out it's a hoax. And you're like, well, what do you mean? Like Russia hoax? Because that was I think it's
he literally said like Russia.
Yeah. He said
he did say it's like Russia.
So is your interpretation of him saying that then that he means Epstein, everything about Epstein is a hoax, even why he was in jail? Because that's insane.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.